Hello, this is Ellen, and I'll be leading a lying down yoga exercise. This practice helps us to attend to our mind, body, and heart, to notice what's happening in this moment as we move and become aware of our thoughts and sensations. And as we respond to these feelings and sensations, like with meditation in the body scan, you may become aware of the mind zoning out, moving into autopilot, and that's completely normal and natural. When you notice your mind becoming hijacked by the many distractions or the ocean of thoughts, just gently usher it back to the body, maybe your breath movement or to the sound of my voice, and continue wherever we are, with whatever pose we're in. There's no need for judgment, just returning to the practice, beginning again with an attitude of curiosity and kindness. Today we'll be honoring our bodies just as they are in this moment during this practice. So please modify any poses or movements that are not accessible to you at this time, respecting any limitations, and recognizing when they're striving or pushing beyond what's good for your body. And if you encounter strong emotions or physical sensations, then I'll offer some wise choices during the practice. But always know that you can shift positions, shift attention back to the breath or your anchor, pause the practice, or stop it altogether. You're in charge of your own experience. Mindful movement is different from other types of yoga in that it's not holding or forming the positions that are important. It's noticing what this movement feels like right now and what emotions and sensations are present. So if you encounter an area in the body where there's been an injury, maybe a surgery, or where a part is no longer there, then honor what comes up, investigate it, and be aware of the reactions, always knowing that this is where you are right now, and that is just fine. Acknowledging and allowing your mind and body to be just as it is. This can be a major step towards healing and relating in a new way. So let's begin. Just finding a comfortable position on a mat or the floor, or it can be done in your bed as well. Lying down on your back, stretched out long. Legs flying, lying flat on the mat with the feet falling out to the sides. Hands down by your sides, and palms can be up or down. Just find the position that's most comfortable for you. This is called the resting or mountain pose in yoga, and it's where we begin and end our practice. It can also be a place to return to if you feel exerted from the practices at any point. So becoming aware of sensations in the body as it comes in contact with the surface of the mat. Can you feel your heels, hamstrings, buttocks, back, shoulders, neck, and head supported and held by the mat? Now becoming aware of the sensations of breathing. Breathing in through your nose, knowing that you're breathing. And breathing out, knowing that you're breathing out. Feeling breath as it makes your chest rise and your belly expand and contract. tuning attention to the mind, what, if any, thoughts, feelings, and emotions are present as you begin this practice? Just taking note and letting it be. Now, with an inhalation, raising the arms straight up to the ceiling with palms facing each other. Stay here, it feels good and nourishing. Or, if it's available to your shoulders, allowing the arms to continue stretching up and overhead as far as is comfortable. Your arms don't need to touch the mat behind you. But if you're here, experiencing this full overhead stretch of the body, fingers pointing in one direction, feet in the other, and taking a few breaths here, just noting what this feels like. Wherever you are, whether your arms are pointed to the ceiling or extended behind your head, take your right hand and right foot and stretch them just an inch or two or so more. Feeling the different sensations in the right side of the body. And when you're ready, release that stretch and try it on the other side. Reaching your left hand and foot in opposite directions and feeling the sensations in this side of the body. Now releasing this left side and coming back to wherever you began. And on an inhalation, raising the arms up if you have them behind your head. And on an exhalation and with awareness, lowering the arms down by your sides where we began. Breathing in and breathing out. And now bending both knees so that they're pointing towards the ceiling with both feet on the floor. Keeping your arms by your sides and inhaling. Pressing down slightly on your tailbone, allowing your low back to arch gently so that you feel a small gap between your lower back and the floor. Exhaling and gently pressing your lower back down against the floor. Repeating this a few times with each breath. Continue this rocking and tilting back and forth, noting any sensations with this movement and noticing if thoughts or emotions arise, and again, letting them be. Now pause in stillness for a breath, and then lifting both knees, bringing them towards the chest and grasping your legs, either below the knees on the shins, and holding here, breathing in and breathing out. And now gently rocking back and forth, offering this bit of gentle massage to the lower back. And returning feet to the floor, keeping both knees bent, bringing the arms down by the sides, resting here, breathing, attending to any sensations felt in the body now. Once again, lifting both knees, bringing them toward the chest, clasping your hands below the knees on the upper shins or at the back of the thighs, and engaging your core now. So lifting the forehead towards the knees if your neck and core allow for this pose. If you have any sort of neck problems, then please keep your head on the floor. Staying where you are with your legs tucked in tight. If you lifted your upper body and head towards your knees, only bring it as high as comfortable for you. Holding here for a moment while breathing, noticing if you're holding the breath, and gently release the upper back and shoulders, neck and head to the floor. Extending both legs stretched out and bringing the arms to the sides, palms facing up if possible, or down if that's more comfortable. And resting here for a moment. So now, keeping the left leg extended, exhaling, bending the right knee and bringing this knee toward the chest once again, grasping just below the knee with your hands and drawing the thigh closer to the chest. You can either keep your head on the floor or tuck your chin slightly into your chest, breathing, naturally aware of the sensations, noticing thoughts, emotions that might be present, and allowing them to come and go. And now making circles with the knee, easing the area around the hip, making circles with the right knee in one direction. And then the other. Now slowly and gently returning your right foot to the floor and extending this leg so both legs are stretched out. Arms at the sides, feeling how this resting pose feels now, and noticing the difference between one side of the body and the other. Breathing in and breathing out. And now doing this movement on the other side. So keeping the right leg extended. Exhaling, bending the left knee and bringing it toward the chest. Clasping hands beneath the knee and letting the thigh release closer to the chest. Again, here, note if there's any striving or need to make it any certain way. Allowing the thigh to come as close to the chest as it naturally goes in your body right now. And again, if it feels right, lifting your shoulders and head. And maybe it will help to put a hand behind your head for neck support. Bringing the face close to the knee for a breath. Then releasing back down to the floor. Now making circles with this knee, so bringing some movement to the left hip area, making circles in one direction and then the other. And slowly now, returning the left foot to the floor, extending the leg once again, and breathing. Let's repeat this posture once again, keeping the left leg extended, bending the right knee, and bringing the knee towards the chest. Clasping the hands behind the knee or at the back of the thigh, and engaging the core muscles. And if you want, you can raise your forehead towards the right knee, lifting the upper body, the shoulders and neck and head, moving the forehead toward the knee, coming up only as it feels right and safe in this moment. Holding here for a breath, the upper back, releasing the knee and extending the right leg. Once again, switching sides, keeping the right leg extended and grasping the left beneath the knee and the hands either at the upper shin or behind the thigh. And on an exhalation, engaging the core muscles, bringing the forehead towards the knee. Holding here for a breath or two, and then releasing. And extending both legs now, and arms resting at the sides. Breathing in and out. Awake. Mindful of bodily sensations. Any thoughts or feelings, any emotions. If your mind's drifted into autopilot, just bringing it back. You aren't going anywhere. Just come back to the sound of my voice and the yoga practice when you're ready. So transitioning now and coming to what's referred to as tabletop. Slowly turning to one side and making the transition to your hands and knees. Take your time. In this position, the arms are straight and hands in a position so they align with the shoulders. And if being on your hands in this way is uncomfortable for the wrists, then you can make fists with the hands. Knees are hip distance apart. The back is flat, so the body forms the shape of a table. Inhaling and letting the belly sag toward the floor. Lifting the head up, rolling the tailbone up. This is cow position. Take a breath and then exhaling, rounding the back, curling the tailbone toward the floor. The head comes toward the floor in this position like a scared cat. Repeating these movements a few times. Inhaling into the cow position and exhaling into the cat position, bringing this gentle and easeful movement to the back and spine. And then returning to tabletop and taking a few breaths here. Moving now into a balanced position. So first stabilizing this tabletop position. The arms are straight and the hands are positioned under the shoulders. Knees are hip distance apart. Feeling balanced in this position. The weight equally distributed. Start by extending your left leg out behind you. Foot on the mat. And your right arm out in front of you. Hand on the mat. And now engage the core as you lift your left leg, even with your hips, and your straight arm, shoulder height, breathing naturally, aware and attentive to all the effort it takes to balance you here. Feeling intense or not so intense sensations as the body shifts and adjusts to establish and reestablish balance. Allowing the breath to flow naturally present. And now returning to neutral on all fours, the tabletop. Resting and breathing here for a few moments. Now we'll do the other side. Extending the right leg out behind, foot on the floor, and the left arm in front of you, hand on the floor. Actively engaging your core as you lift your leg up, level with the hips, And then extending the left arm at shoulder height, holding this position for a few breaths. And returning to tabletop position. Let's take a moment to come to child's pose. So from tabletop position, bringing the buttocks back to rest on the heels or in between the feet, and lower your torso toward the floor. You can spread the knees out slightly toward the outer edges of the mat if you like, and either extend your arms out in front of you, lowering the forehead to the floor, or placing the arms by the sides of the floor, allowing the breath to flow naturally, sensing the effects of these movements that you've been doing on the body. And if at any time you need props such as a block, that works just perfectly. And we'll stay in child's pose for just a few moments, noticing what's going through the mind, what's in the heart, and what sensations are you noticing in the body. And now gently rolling over to your right side and stretch your body out long, using your left hand as a pillow, either balancing on your elbow, hand on your head, or head lying on your left arm, and taking your left hand and placing it in front of your chest for balance. Making sure your body's straight and long, legs on top of each other. We'll take the left leg and raise it in the air. Breathing, noting the effort it takes to raise the leg just as far as you can. Even if it's only an inch off the floor, that's just perfect. And when you're ready, exhaling the leg down. And repeating this exercise one more time with this leg. Raising the straight top leg and bringing it down when you feel ready. Now taking a moment here to breathe and rest. From here, we'll transition back down on our backs, moving now to a bridge pose. So coming to lie on your back, legs extended, arms at the sides, bending both knees so they point toward the ceiling, keeping both feet on the floor. Now pressing your feet into the floor as you inhale, curl the spine up off the floor, lifting first from the buttocks, then the lower back, and then your upper back lifts off the floor. The shoulders, the area between the shoulders remaining on the floor. Feeling all the different sensations with this movement. Feeling the muscles of the body that are engaged. Noticing areas that are not needed to exert for this position. Allowing these to relax as best as possible. Holding here and breathing. And gently lowering the back to the floor, rolling down one vertebrae at a time, starting with the upper middle back, and then the lower back, allowing the back to release fully into the floor. Knees still bent, feet on the floor, arms at the sides. Breathing in and breathing out. Let's do this pose one more time, and if you'd like, bringing variation to the arms, but this isn't necessary. So once again, lifting the lower back and the upper back, and once in this position, as far and as high as you're comfortable. And if you like, you can bring your hands together under your buttocks and clasp your hands together underneath your body and stretch them toward the feet. You can also try sweeping your arms overhead. On the floor, bringing them up over the head, or you can just leave them down by your side. Taking a few breaths, then slowly lowering your back to the floor, one vertebrae at a time. Arms at the sides, knees bent, feet on the floor. Resting here in this position, lying on your back, knees bent, pointing toward the ceiling, feet on the floor, and take a few breaths and come to stillness. Noting how your body feels after this amount of exertion. Being curious. Now you bring your arms out into a T position, and on an exhalation, lower both knees down to your right, keeping your shoulders and arms on the floor, and turning your head to look to the left. Breathing naturally, remaining present and aware of any waves of sensations, thoughts, emotions, not getting caught up in any of it. Just aware of their presence. And with each exhalation, allowing the body to release gently and naturally into this twist. Knees perhaps falling just slightly more as the head looks towards the left, but not striving or feeling any pressure to get anywhere. They may stay in the neutral position, and that's fine also. Feeling this gentle ringing of the spine, and inhaling now and returning to a neutral position with knees bent, pointing to the ceiling, head and neck in a neutral position, arms extended out to the sides in a T position, and now slowly dropping both knees to the left. Keeping your shoulders and arms on the floor, and turning the head to the right. Breathing in and breathing out, allowing a gentle release into the twist. Noticing if one side you can reach down further than the other. Once again, returning to a neutral position now. And just lying on your back, extending the legs long. Feet falling to the sides, head and neck returning to the center, and arms now resting at the sides. Pausing for a moment, breathing and checking in with the body. Let's keep going. Bending your left knee and place your left foot on the floor. Keeping the right leg extended out, and then raising your right leg up. Foot toward the ceiling, with the foot flexed, and you can clasp your hands behind your right thigh for support, or even at the area of the shin and the calf. And with the leg stretched upright, pointing and flexing at the ankle, and seeing if you can make circles with the ankle and foot slowly in one direction, and then in the other. Now keeping the right leg extended, up, bringing the right foot to stillness, still clasping hands behind the thigh or the calf. If it feels available to you, engaging the core and raising the shoulders and upper body. and bringing the head up towards the right knee. Noticing here if there is striving or pushing the body to move beyond what's possible at this time. If so, you may want to keep the head resting on the floor, or raising up only slightly, or perhaps supporting the extended leg with one hand, while bringing the other hand to the back of the head in the neck, supporting the head in the neck to rise up slowly and slightly. Breathing and gently lowering the upper back and shoulders, neck, and head. Lowering the right leg, allowing it to slowly make its way to the floor. Feeling perhaps how there is some effort, some muscles involved as the leg slowly moves toward the floor. And then as it approaches and releases and settles on the floor, just feeling this release. Now extending both arms, resting at the sides, breathing in and breathing out. Noticing one side from the other at this time. And doing this now with the other side. So bending the right knee, pointing the knee toward the ceiling foot on the floor, and raising the left leg straight up. And in doing this, there might be a slight bend in the knee. So adjusting and honoring the body, just how it is now. And clasping the hands behind the left knee, the left thigh, or the area of the shin or calf. Pointing and flexing the left foot, and making circles with the left foot circling in one direction, and then the other. And bringing this foot to stillness now, and engaging the core muscles and raising the body up and bringing the forehead towards the left knee. Making any and all adjustments that support your body at this time. And even just resting, lying down and imagining these movements is fine. Always remembering to breathe. And now slowly lowering the left leg to the floor. And extending the right leg out so both legs are fully outstretched. Resting at the sides, resting for a moment, and then rolling onto your left side. With your legs extended, one leg on top of the other. Allowing your head to rest on your left arm, and place your right hand on the floor in front of you for support. Breathing naturally, and with an inhalation, slowly raising your right leg, coming up only as high as it feels right and comfortable. Holding the leg up, and breathing. And when you're ready, slowly lowering the leg, aware of and attending to any sensations that are present, recognizing any thoughts or emotions that are also here. Aware of this moment and allowing sensation to be primary in awareness. So raising the right leg up one more time and holding it for a breath. Then slowly lowering the right leg, noticing the breath and exertion it took to undertake this movement. And now rolling onto your belly. Legs are stretched out, tops of the feet resting on the floor, arms resting at your sides, palms up. Rest on one cheek, breathing in and breathing out, experiencing what it's like for the body to be in this position. Turning the head to the other side, and resting now on this cheek. Now placing the chin on the floor and allowing the neck to be soft. Spine and neck are aligned and straight. and gently pressing the area of the pelvis and hips into the floor slowly, raising the left leg up just slightly, not straining in the area of the lower back, so this might be a very small and subtle movement, and even allowing the leg to just remain resting on the floor if that feels what's best for your body at this time. If there's any straining or tightening in the lower back, then lower the leg immediately. Now lower it if it was up, and turn your head to one side, resting on the cheek. Repeating this movement with the other leg, feeling a gentle pressing of the pelvic area and hips into the floor as you raise the right leg up, holding for a moment, and then lowering and then turning into the head to the other side and resting on the cheek. Breathing in and breathing out. Continue to lie on your belly, legs stretched out, backs of the feet against the floor, arms at the side, palms up, bringing the chin to rest on the floor and keeping the neck aligned with the spine. Just breathing into the body. And finally now, rolling onto the back, legs stretched out, arms at your sides, bending both knees and bringing the knees toward the chest, clasping the hands around the shins, gently rolling to side, front and back. Again, bringing a gentle massage to the area of the lower back. And now extending, letting the feet fall easily and naturally to the sides. Arms are at the sides of your body, palms up. Closing the eyes if you like, or allowing for a soft gaze. Allowing the whole back of the body to just settle right into the floor, releasing a little bit with each exhalation. Just melting into the mat, inviting the body to settle into stillness. Just offering this time to assimilate and integrate this mindful movement practice. Letting the body just be as it is right now. Experiencing this transition from movement into stillness, from balancing and motion to stillness. Feeling the breath as it flows in and out of the body. And perhaps offering appreciation for the body for all that it's able to do at this time. Not judging it for things it can't do, but being grateful for what's available to you today, in this moment in time. Also acknowledging yourself for taking its time to care for yourself, to attend to your well-being, and to the well-being of your body and mind. So breathing in and taking a long, deep breath out. And as you're ready, transitioning from this period of practice, bringing some gentle movement into the body. Maybe stretching arms overhead or wiggling the fingers and toes. Open the eyes if you close them. Aware of the shapes and colors in your environment. And coming back to the room with ease and care. And when you're ready, slowly turning to your right, pausing here, using your left hand to raise your body to a sitting position, and rest here until you feel stable and alert enough to slowly transition to a standing position. Take your time. Use support if you need it. Using a chair or other props or a person if necessary. And when standing, take note of how you feel after this gentle, mindful movement. And enjoy the rest of your day. Namaste.